Morning, got a nice fresh cup of coffee. We've just got back actually from a fishing trip, and that fishing trip is what you're about to see. Now I'm going to apologise ahead of time. I haven't actually looked at the footage yet, but I actually went down with two cameras. We had the camera that you're on now, which is on a tripod, and we had the camera which is on the chest. Now we fished two marks fairly close to each other, and the first mark we went to, I put the camera on each time the rod went. We had some good fish, which you'll see if you continue to watch. Yeah, I clicked the camera on, and I clicked this one on, and it was only when I moved to the second mark I realised that the camera with the tripod and the lights and all the good stuff was set to photo mode. Now the problem with it is when I click the button, it sounds exactly the same as when I press the record button. There's no difference in the sound, it just sounds like you're recording. So anyway, when we moved to the second mark, I put it obviously onto record mode, so that camera recorded. So the first bit of footage you're going to see will be all with the body cam. How good it is, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't looked over it. Whether I got all the fish in it, again, not sure. I usually do, get a close-up of each fish we get, so with a bit of luck it's come out okay. That's to be seen anyway. So anyway, that video is about to come up now, and I'm going to go and finish my coffee. Right, I'm just in the shed, and we're just about to go fishing. Just collecting some bait. We've got a mackerel fillet in here. We've got some squid in this one, all frozen. We'll take that down, and hopefully going to pick up a bit of worm again down on the beach before we start fishing. So basically, we've got a couple of days of calm after having some pretty rough weather. Now once again we're going to be heading down to this similar area, not necessarily the same spot, but a similar area, and we're going to see if what we can catch basically. I mean, hopefully we'll be going for mainly the bream again, but in that particular spot it's such a mixed ground area, you can pick up many different species if they're there. It's a bit chilly, but at least there's no wind, and so far no rain. So we'll see you when we're on the way down there. So we're making our way down. I can hear the ocean, so there must be quite a bit of swell there. I know there's a lot of low pressures and that out in the Atlantic and the Channel and that, so probably pushing the seas up a bit. Hopefully they're not too murky and not full of seaweed. Travelling very light as usual, or lighter than normal actually. I'm just bringing a couple of rods with just some basic pieces in the bag. Got a bit of a problem with the Achilles heel at the moment, so don't know what's going on there, but I'm trying to keep everything light. Right, any minute we're going to reach the bait spot, so I'll switch back on actually when we get to the actual fishing, once we've started fishing. Right, so we got our worm, which is in there. We've got quite a bit. I got some extra because I might go tomorrow as well, so I'm going to try somewhere else, but I don't have to dig the bait again. So we've got just a single hook on this one with a bit of mackerel fillet on there. Now the mackerel, I catch it myself, and if you gut mackerel when it's completely fresh, it won't go soft. If you take the guts out before you freeze it, or if you fillet it, you can fillet it and just put the fillets in, but removing the guts, that's what makes your mackerel go mushy. So if you remove the guts, it'll stay as firm as it was, almost as firm as it was when you caught it. But you really want to get the guts out, like I say, as soon as it dies within an hour, because those acids will start to break down the flesh, and it doesn't make good fishing bait once it gets all gooey and that. Well, it's not just the fact it doesn't make good bait, it's just hard to keep on the hook. Then we've got squid, just a piece of squid on that hook, and we've got a second hook down here with a bit of ragworm. And this is just a sort of paternoster style, whereas this is like a sliding 2 swivels, so that when the fish takes the mackerel it doesn't feel the weight. Just a couple of different setups. Now I've set both of them up like that, ready to go straight away, because around here if the bream are in, they'll start hitting the bait as soon as it hits the water, so it can be tricky trying to set the other rod up. Okay, let's get these out and we'll see what happens. So, bringing something in, probably a bream, but could be anything, like I say, down here. What have we got? What have we got? Oh, it looks like a... what the heck is that? Oh, it's a bass. We've got ourselves a small bass. That's not something you catch a lot of here, that's for sure, but they do turn up from time to time. I've never had one that small. Normally the ones I've had have been sort of 4 or 5 pounds around here, but that's a good start though. Let's okay, one bass. Right, let me get this off and get it back in as quick as possible. Just flip that over like that. There you have one bass. And it took the squid, I think, a little piece of squid. Well, I've managed to remove the hook. It did have it down in the throat, but very carefully I was able to get it out. It's not bleeding or anything, so it should be fine. That's the problem when you use small hooks. Like I say, we're not really fishing for bass, but every so often you'll pick one up. Now I can't get too close to the water here because I am on a cliff face, so anyway, let's try and get him in head first. Here he goes, and he's off straight away. Okay, an interesting start to the evening. I actually cut the hook off to make my life a bit easier getting it out the fish, because I had to go through the gill area, so I didn't want lines attached to it. Right, let's have a look. So the bottom hook was worm, which got stripped anyway, and that was taken on the squid. But like I say, you do get the odd bass here. It's not something I catch a lot of here, and the ones I have had around here have been fairly large. So the thing is, when you see bass like that, there's a chance we'll catch more of that kind of size. There tend to be a lot of them around when you come across 1 or 2 of that size, being that they shoal. But they might just be passing by as well, so we shall find out. Well, I've just literally cast it out and we're straight back into bites. So the left rod hasn't done anything with the mackerel, but I don't expect the mackerel always to do that well down here, but it is cast to the left, so maybe I better put both rods to the right this time, or next time. Although saying that, now the mackerel's getting hit, so trouble with the mackerel, the crab will jump on it. Being mixed ground, you do get a lot of brown crab and shore crabs and the velvet swimming crab here, so this feels a bit light. Yeah, I think we're on already. Damn, that didn't take long. This could be tricky landing it. How big is it? Oh, it's 2 fish. It's 2 bream by the looks of it. Oh yes, and that's a good one. Good 2 actually. These are decent sized bream. Finally, we've been catching a lot of small ones. Now we finally got ourselves a couple of good sized bream. Absolute crackers, those 2. Right, let me get them unhooked. There we go. Two nice sized bream. You're looking at, well, top one's over £1, the bottom one's probably £1.50, something like that. Alright, let me just get these off. I'm going to try this one, I think it might be on. Trouble is, when you cast out here, it's quite deep and they tend to swim in towards the shore, so you're never quite sure if it's on. It's not like shallow water where they run for the deep. Now this one is coming in a bit too hard to the right. Got to watch these rocks, they're full of barnacles. If your lines hit it, you can ping off quite easily. And it is another bream, I think. It is. And it's another decent one. And I'm going to have to grab the other rod as well. Another nice bream. There we go. Right, this one's gone slack. See if there's something on it. Something is happening on this one. So what have we got this time? Doesn't feel that heavy. Small bream, maybe? Yep, small bream. I say small, it's still a decent size, but I'm going to put this one back. Just unhook it here. Neatly hooked in the corner of the mouth so it comes out. Yeah, it's not that big. It's a little one. Looked bigger as it came out of the water, but we're going to put this one back as soon as I can get hold of it. Spiky things. There we go. One little bream. Right there. Right. Down he goes. And he's off. Getting some bites on this one now. That's the single hook. Yeah, this rod's definitely got something going down. And there is a fish, and it is a bream again. Let's have a look at this one. Another black bream. Not a bad one. Hopefully you can see that from there, but I'll put it on this camera as well, since we've got the two cameras tonight. So, turn away from the... Another nice bream. Check this. Right, I'm going to put this one back. It's not quite as big as the other. I've got 3 already, so I only really need 1 more. But I want to wait for a large one. There we go. Right, let's check the other rod, because that was going, well, it still is going nuts, so it's probably got fish on it as well. It's a conger. Just a small conger whip. He's made a right mess of that line though. That's normally what the freshwater eels do. Right, I'm going to go and get my scissors and cut him straight off because I can see he's taken the hook down. Fortunately, they're only little fine wire hooks, so they'll rust out pretty quick. Then I think we're going to move. I could stay a bit longer and the fishing is good, but to be honest, I'd rather get off here a little bit earlier tonight. Right, I'll cut him off here, he'll make his way down. Let's just have a quick look at him before he goes back. So I don't know. There we go. Right, let's cut him off. They're always, there we go. They're quite clever, these eels, usually. The big ones are. They always head towards the water. Even on the rocks, no matter where you put them on the rocks, they'll always find their way back to the water. This one's a bit, probably because he's small. There is water just over the edge, so there he goes. He's in. They're pretty tough as well, congers. So this is the 3 bream I'm keeping. 3 nice large ones. We put the other ones back, obviously. I've seen a lot of footage taken from the chest cam. This one I'm wearing here. I actually thought the other one was filming. Turns out it was actually on the still photo setting, so you wouldn't have seen the first, but well, you will have seen it because you'll see what I've got on the one I'm wearing. But so far, it's been a good night. So. Right, I need to hook up and cast out again, and we'll hopefully get it right this time. So we're getting some bites now, and hopefully I've got that camera on this time after my bot shot, you might say. Right, get a few bites now, so it's always a bit awkward landing them here because you're quite high up, a long way from the water. Oh, we do have a fish, a very small one. And that's a small one. But it's still another fish. Right, I'm going to have to fling him out a bit to get him out there. Yep, he made it. Big one for a lesser spotted. But it's something different. Right, camera, are you getting this? There we go. Nice big dogfish. Big for this species anyway. Assuming this is a lesser spotted, and I believe it is. Right. Quite large, lesser spotted. Yep. Let's get him back. Right, well, I've decided I'm going to pack this rod up because I'm only using the one rod anyway. When the fishing's good like this, well, there's plenty of fish around, I don't need the two rods. So one's more for a spare. On top of that, I've got 3 fish that I'm going to take with me home, and I wanted really 4, but I mean 3's okay as well, but 4 would be kind of ideal because there is several people or several relatives. Well, just as well I didn't put this one back out. That one was ready to snap off. That's the trouble here, you keep banging out the weights and damages the line on them. Eventually they'll snap. Because it's quite, even though it's, I suppose you could say it's sand here, it's not really, it's more stones. And of course it's quite wearing on your line. Quite often I'll cut off 10, 15 feet of line before I come, like have it fresh, because of the damage that would have been caused from previous trips. Well, looks like we're getting some more bites. So. Yep. Now, of course, the only trouble with the filming is I do have to move over rocks, which takes me out the camera quite often. It's quite often not a perfect position because I need to either land the fish over there or reel it in here, depending on the rocks below me. So, right, we've got something going on. Yeah, looks like the dogfish have moved in. It's another one. Right. So, another dogfish. Good size ones too. The last ones we had here were quite small, but these are pretty good for this. Stomach is full as well, unless it's carrying eggs. Ooh. Watch that skin. Trouble is the skin comes up and then it'll twist on you and it'll take your skin off. Right. There we go. Right, I'm going to have to fling it out a bit. Well, it's now almost 6 o'clock, if you can see, if you can't. Now usually when I'm come down here I don't get a signal. I do actually have a signal now. Maybe they've fixed the problem. I think what it is being too close to the cliff, you get the signal doesn't come through good. I know there's a couple of places around the cliffs like that when you're too near the cliffs. A bit of a line screamer then. Don't think that was a dogfish, but you never know. This really is putting the fight up. How the heck am I going to land that? That is a large bass. I say large. Large enough for a size 1 hook. Or is it? Is it a pollock? Maybe it's a pollock. Oh, that's a lovely bass. That is a lovely bass. There you go. Nice big bass on a size 1 hook. It's got to be, I say it's big, it's got to be 4 pound maybe? 3.5, 4 pounds, something like that. And perfectly hooked. I thought when that took off, when it started screaming off, I thought either big bream or a bass. There you go, cracking fish. Right. Gone slack. Not like the last one though. The last one we had was an absolute screamer. Unfortunately, I don't think I had any of the cameras on when it went. Yeah, this is taking it good. So, what are we going to have this time? Dogfish? Bass? Bream? Conger? Good one. A decent one. Two bream, one big one, one small one, and that is number 4 for the ones I want to keep. I'll keep the top one, I'll let the bottom one go. Now this is probably going to be my last cast for tonight or this morning. We've got the 4 bream that I'm going to take, and I mean, it's been a good night. We've seen a couple of dogfish, some conger, and some bass. Well, we just had a bite on our last cast. It's been a few minutes actually. It's been longer than before, but I think I cast a little bit closer in this time. Go and check if it's gone a bit slack or not. Yeah, it's definitely gone slack. Looks like another doggy. Yep. Gonna finish the night on a dogfish. Oh, get another doggy. Right. There we go. And he's off. One dogfish. Right, let's get him back. Well, we're back home now with our cup of coffee, much needed after that flipping climb back. I tell you what, it doesn't get easier, this climbing lark. Every year it gets harder and harder. Anyway, there are our 4 good sized bream. Going to have these later on. So it was a good night. We had about, what did we have, 3 dogfish. Was it 8 bream, 7 bream, 8 bream? I don't know, I'd have to look on the camera again. And 2 bass. one small bass. I mean, it was small, but it wasn't tiny, and that good sized one, probably around 3.5 to 4 pound. But anyway, it was worth the slog down there and the slog back up. I mean, the slog down there is easy, the slog back up is the killer. Plus, with a bit of a problematic heel at the moment, it didn't make life very easy, especially coming back. But no, I'm glad I went. And I'm going to put an ice bottle in here now, and then get a bit of sleep for a couple of hours. Then I'll cut them up later on, ready to be made for either today, maybe tomorrow. I'll have to speak to my relatives first, see what they're doing. And but I'm sure they'll be pleased to see some nice fresh fish.